My name is Sheena Barr. I'm from Teaneck, New Jersey. I live in Garfield, but I always still say I'm from Teaneck. My cousin, who's a doctor in Arizona, who also has PKD, he kind of steered me in the direction. I had heard about the studies about keto or intermittent fasting affecting PKD and maybe slowing the progression of the disease. And I'm trying to do everything that I can to slow the progression. I'm on tolvaptan or Genarcu. I guess that's what it's called, Genarcu. And so I just figured anything that I could do to kind of slow the progression in order to avoid the whole transplant dialysis thing, I was going to try and do. I think it was a really good experience. I think it was very positive. I feel like I learned a lot about nutrition, about keto, oxalates, things that I had just never heard of before. I did make some changes to my diet permanently because, I had no idea that spinach was destroying my kidneys, or beets or almonds, the impact of these things on my kidneys I had no knowledge of. So I think all of that was really helpful. I thought it was challenging to give up carbs for that period of time, or at least minimize it. But once I realized I was able to do it, it kind of encouraged me to at least keep going in some form. I liked the weekly classes. I thought they were really helpful. I loved the presentation with the PowerPoint and with you speaking and kind of explaining everything, because science stuff for me is kind of like goes over my head, and I think you were able to break it down in a way that even someone like me could understand it. That was one thing. The other thing was I did think that the food list was really, really helpful. The recipes were as well. I didn't do as many as I would have liked just because of time constraints, and I'm not much of a chef, but I do feel like the food list was really, some of the recipes that I did do, and I kind of stuck with those, and the food lists were really helpful as well. That you should definitely try and do it if you're able to get into it and try and learn as much as you can about nutrition and how it affects the kidneys. And I would definitely recommend it. I think it's really helpful. Even if you don't stick with everything you learned, you're going to learn enough that at least those 5 or 6 things that you do differently, I would really think would probably really impact the trajectory of the disease in your body.